Howdy guys, today we look at 40 updates that were removed from Minecraft, and yes, that is the Nether reactor over there. Don't worry, we'll get to it soon. From giant brick pyramids and the far lands to rare plate armor that was only meant for mobs, and armor made of fire for that matter, a lot of things got removed from Minecraft that you've probably never heard about. Sky dimensions, six-sided piston blocks, even pigmen. None of them made the cut long term. Let's find out more. Alrighty, number one is for all you old school Pocket Edition players out there, the Nether Reactor Core. Originally including 4 different blocks, the Nether Reactor Core, the initialized version, the finished version, and the glowing obsidian. These were sets of blocks added to Minecraft Pocket Edition used to place a chunk of the Nether into your world before the Nether was officially in game. First, you'd need to make the Nether Reactor Core, which took 6 iron and 3 diamonds. Placing the Nether Reactor Core within a Nether Reactor, which is made of 4 gold blocks and 14 cobblestone placed like this, would allow you to light it and turn your entire world upside down. Namely into the Nether. Well, kind of the Nether. This was Pocket Edition's answer to the Nether. And in this example, we've got random items, many of which come from the Nether that will spawn in every 45 seconds. What you're seeing here is that the original Nether Reactor Core has begun to decay. And you can see that the colors on it have changed as well. Not only that, but the cobblestone and gold have become glowing obsidian. Up until this point, there was no other way to get Nether items or see zombie pigmen in-game. After the core cooled down, you're left with obsidian and what looks like a completely dead block. Pocket Edition players know this structure quite well. It's known as the Nether Spire, and it was the original answer to the Nether. But for now, we move on. So long, Nether Spire. We've got bigger fish to fry. That first one was long, the rest will pick up. Number 2, studded armor. Now, originally the textures of this armor were found in the game's code, but Notch decided to never actually use the studded armor, which actually fell right in between chainmail and leather armor in terms of, in terms of defensive capabilities. Now, I'll spare you crafting them all. Here are the different recipes involved. Lots of leather, lots of iron to get a studded helmet, a studded chest plate, leggings, and boots. Let's go ahead and we'll take this off for the time being. Put on his new armor. Yo, I look good. Just kidding. Again, looking at the armor bonus, leather pants has 2 armor, studded leggings with 3, and chainmail with 4. Number 3, quivers. The first hints originally seen for quivers were found in an in-depth version of Minecraft over a decade ago. They were almost brought back for Minecraft 1.9, but were ultimately scrapped. For our implementation, when you hold them in your offhand slot, they act as your arrows, and every time you fire one of these guys off, you'll note that the quiver goes down in the amount of arrows remaining with it. Oh man, only one more arrow left. Let this shot ring true! Yeah, baby! What am I, the best? But now the quiver's empty, and as you can see, the arrows have been removed from it compared to the other graphic with the arrows. Number 4, breedable dolphins. Oddly enough, this exists in the Pocket Edition / Bedrock version of the game, but not in Java. Breeding dolphins with raw fish was removed in place of their treasure locating ability, which I believe was also scrapped. But hey, for the time being, why don't we show you what this breeding process could have looked like. So, come on down, baby. Get going. That's right, yo, they love it. And just like that, there's a third. Where'd the third dolphin? Oh gosh, did they eat it? No, it was behind me. Thank goodness. Family. Number 5, magma cubes taking damage when wet. This was removed because apparently it was some kind of bug. So now when a magma cube hangs out in water, it's all good. For sake of today's video, we've updated them so that they do now die in water. Isn't that just so nice of us? Look at them, they're all dying. Get away from me. Number 6 is awesome. It's plate armor. Mob-specific gear. It was also the armor that was the first ever type to be added to Minecraft. The only armor types were a helmet and a short chest plate, which we've got recipes for right here. Combing back through the oldest wiki pages, you'll be able to find examples of these armor types from way back. And for sake of today's video, we made it so that you can wear them. But as I said, they were originally meant for mobs. Number 7's a classic. The Farlands. Down we go. Farlands are bust. Yeah. Oh, here's the Farlands. We're looking at what the very edge of the oldest Minecraft worlds used to look like. About 13 million blocks in any direction out from the sides of spawn, you would start seeing land masses that looked a little something like this. Tons of chunk errors all over the place. Overall, a weird experience. Now 13 million blocks in, there's just regular old land, so back we go. To our next destination, which is a familiar one indeed. It's number 8. Actually, it's probably not familiar because you haven't heard of these, remember? Six-sided blocks, known as bark blocks to most of you guys, because these are actually in-game. But there were other variants that were originally in-game that are no longer. You used to have to get them using commands, and other than these guys, they're all gone. But there used to be six-sided hay blocks, six-sided piston blocks, six-sided sticky piston blocks as well. They would often be used on servers to act as though they were crates, and now they're gone. Number 9, the human mob. Originally found back in InDev, human mobs could be spawned in by pressing G, but we have spawn eggs now, and this is what they look like. Definitely not what they sounded like, and they actually did bounce a little bit normally when you'd see them in game, but for sake of example, this is the best we're gonna get. All right, and right over here is our right over here is, what? Over here is our ay, jeez! Oh, right, number 10, borders. I guess we'll just have to go around instead. Borders, believe it or not, were actually an item originally meant for the Education Edition of Minecraft, and they were mistakenly added in to the Bedrock version. They've since been removed from Bedrock Edition, however, they originally acted as ways of preventing players, aka students, from getting into certain map areas, etc. And as you can see here, they will push you away if you try and jump anywhere nearby them. These would be awesome on servers to keep people away from your house. Number 11, potion cauldron brewing. Before brewing stands were implemented in game, cauldron's original purpose was for potion mixing. And so what we've got here is an example of what that would look like if it were still in game. We just made ourselves a lovely potion of strength. I really wish this was still in game in some form because I'm honestly a huge fan of the process. This is exactly like, this is what it should look like. Now, currently brewing stands are a little bit easier to work with, but you know, details. This is dope. Number 12 is player statistics. Check out this ancient screenshot. This is from way back, like, in the classic days. You can see attack, defense, and speed with some stat bonuses there. And it's a good thing we've got our strength, swiftness, and resistance potions, because it's time for us to add this stat menu right back in game. Attack, defense, and speed. So why don't we drink our potion of strength and see what happens? Our attack just rose by 100 points. And if we were to drink the swiftness potion, you'd see that the speed rises and even the defense potion rises. Notch said he doesn't remember what his plans were for this originally, and it was likely just an earlier version of the potion HUDs you see in the top right of my screen right now, although the numbers are a little in the way. Alright, we're gonna say goodbye to our stat boosts. So sad. Moving on, number 13, the original player characters. Steve and Alex weren't always the only characters involved. We originally had Beast Boy, Steve and Black Steve, as well as Rana. And oh my gosh, what is that? Don't worry, we'll get to it in a second. You may have already seen these characters pop up alongside a couple of the other things in today's list, if you happen to see a video that we have on our channel called 25 updates that were supposed to be in Minecraft. And while there are a couple from that video in today's video, we did our absolute best to get a fresh new list. But you can click the eye in the corner to watch that video as well, where you can find out a whole bunch of other things that won't be in today's video. Such as this next one, horse saddles, number 14. When horses were added in 1.6, they first wanted to add a new saddle instead of the pig saddle that we're used to. So as you can see here, you got a pig with a saddle. Good work. While this saddle is not actually functional, it does show up as an item, and you might have an idea of what it could have looked like. Probably just a little bit darker than the one we see on the porker. Number 15, allow and deny blocks. These were also accidental additions from the Education Edition that made it into the Bedrock version of the game, and they were eventually removed. Any player stood on top of deny blocks would be unable to break any blocks anywhere nearby. When we would try and break these, it doesn't let us click, and to that point, we can't place anything either. But even if you were in adventure mode, if you happened to be stood on top of an allow block, you could both mine and place. So adventure mode away. I'll go ahead and take that and place it. Step off the allow blocks and suddenly you can't break anything at all once again. Number 16, the Killer Bunny. I'm sure most of you guys know about this update. The Killer Bunny was originally added in game as an evil mob that you could run across about 1 in 1,000 times instead of a regular bunny. It was removed because it was deemed an unfair unfair way to die if you happen to cross one. And as you can see, they weren't kidding. The killer bunny is extremely dangerous, dealing pretty decent damage to us in full diamond gear. Now for number 17 here, chickens spawning in the Nether, you may have noticed in our Spire earlier when we were messing with the reactor core that there were some chickens in there. Well, that's because chickens used to routinely spawn on their own within the Nether. As you can see, we've got a couple that have already spawned right here. No longer the case, although could have easily been confused with chicken jockeys spawning in with baby zombie pigmen. But it was decided to be a bug and then was removed. Sorry, buddy. Yes, number 18 is seasons. Fantastic. It's what I've always wanted. But Jeb on Twitter had mentioned his plan for seasonal cycles and then ended up scrapping it. Here's what it could have looked like. Spring! Beautiful leaves all over the place. Summer! Sunflowers now. Maybe a more drastic change. How about autumn? Ooh, this looks fancy. Dead bushes instead of flowers. I can get behind it. And of course, winter wonderland. Tell me you don't love it. Oh man, sorry about the plants. Number 19, big ol' obsidian walls. These existed in InfDev and they go in straight lines, intersecting the X and Z coordinates in your original Minecraft worlds. Mostly used as a way for players to identify where they were in the world, these were eventually removed. Hate when that happens. Anyways, number 20, Notch's music. That's right, DJ Notch. He prepared himself some music for the game, and this song was originally called Calm 4. And if we were to play it in here, you can hear it. It's not that good. I wonder why they decided against adding it, says this sign. Yeah, I don't. Number 21, the brick pyramid structure is finally here. One of the original behemoths of the oldest version of Minecraft. These structures were typically in 64 by 64 by 64 spaces, that long, that wide, and that tall. And they were originally described as a generation bug, however, it was likely just a temporary way to get brick blocks in-game. And they also generated extremely far from the original spawn point. So finding one of these in-game would be an amazing feat if you happened to cross it. I mean, look at this thing. It's gargantuan. It commands so much attention. Kind of like me, Logdotzip. Have y'all hit that like button yet? We're over halfway done. It really helped the channel out. Number 22, infinite... Gosh! That scared me really bad. We might need the water after all, huh? Infinite water... Stop! I'm upset by how much that actually scared me. Anyways, the infinite water source block was a solid block that placed flowing water beside it. And it was removed for the current way to get infinite water. So we've got a bucket here. We're gonna try and take this water. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. It's bad. Here's a better example of it. Infinite water, baby. What is that sound? Oh, gosh. It's that other feature that we'll get to in just a little bit. Hey! But check it out. Water constantly coming from the sides of this source block. Obviously, it's a little command magic and tomfoolery, so it looks a little odd. This is the actual original source color of the water, by the way. Number 23, locked chests. Now, at one point, locked chests were added in an April Fool's update. However, afterwards, the ability to lock chests disappeared. So while lockable chests are now in game, they were actually removed for a period of time. We've got a chest key here, and maybe we can open one of these. There we go. Number 24, rubies. They were supposed to be added in game as well, but last second they were replaced with emeralds in... Come on! I couldn't stop myself, sorry. Get real. You see we got rubies right here. They're really nice. They drop us lovely ruby gems. And you could use those ruby gems to craft yourself some lovely ruby armor and tools. Nice weapons, nice. Ooh, wow, you look good. Number 25, a handful of recipes were also removed. You know, some recipes that are supposed to be in game, they get removed from time to time. For example, before cocoa beans were implemented, there were different means of getting them in game as they acted as though they were a dye. You could mix these two together, nice, and get cocoa beans, orange and black, or you could do red and yellow, which makes orange and black, to also get cocoa beans. Very temporary though. Over here you can see various different saddle recipes that I'll spare you the trouble of making. But most importantly, the enchanted golden apple used to be craftable, and people would make insane zombie pigman farms in the Nether just to get their hands on this ultimate OP treat. The recipe for this guy ended up getting removed in 1.9 for the combat change, and it made a lot of sense. It really is overpowered. Number 26, water evaporating from magma. Oh, this hideous sound. Listen to it. Originally, magma blocks would evaporate any source water blocks or flowing water blocks that were on top of them. However, when the update Aquatic came out, they were replaced for a downwards pulling effect with bubble columns. Number 27, chalkboards. Another remnant of the Education Edition that slipped into Bedrock by mistake. You used to... this will take me a second. Be able things on to write these boards. See, it's supposed to be combined. You used to be able to write things on these boards, but they got removed. Ev in the chat. Number 28, isometric screenshots. These were bird's eye view screenshots of an isometric form of whatever map you happen to have built out in game. This is a real screenshot from the in-dev version. You used to just be able to press a button in game and it would cause this image to render out. And it's unknown why this feature never came out with the main release, but I agree with you, Sign. It is a shame. This is obviously a really low resolution picture. It's kind of lame, but you know. Number 29, reverted potions. During the 1.9 snapshots, it was possible to undo a potion. For example, an extended slowness potion could be given a glowstone dust to make it a shorter version again. Here's exactly what I mean. We've got a potion of harming that does instant damage 2 to a player. Adding in some redstone dust, though, would lower the potency of this potion to just an instant damage instead. But it wasn't just potions of harming, it would be any sort of potion that you brewed, from an instant health down to an instant health. What are you looking at? Oh, you want some? Number 30, sky dimension. You might want to jump? Huh? Oh, whoa! Oh, wow, that was a heck of a jump! Where are we? This looks like the Skylands! Yes, by design. The Sky Dimension was going to be a collection of floating islands in the sky which you could visit when sleeping, and it ended up becoming the End Dimension instead. Here's Notch's original screenshot of what the Sky Dimension could have looked like. Now, as of Minecraft 1.13 and 1.14, we have a new world option known as the Buffet World, which allows you to, in theory, recreate what the Sky Dimension would have looked like. Floating islands and flowing lava, ahoy. Number 31, the Red Dragon. Here's an Ender Dragon. Hi. Yeah. He's alright. Here's a Red Dragon. Ooh. DG, look, that roar was way better. Come on, Mojang. Add him in already. We need him. Number 32, Giants. Ugh, now I'm flustered. The Giant's in game currently, but there's no way to actually see it spawn in naturally in survival mode. So here, we did it for you. Hi, you big friend. He's got 100 health. We're not gonna bother killing him. Number 33, Cogs. Fun word to say. Cogs were seen as early as January 2010 on Notch's YouTube channel, and they were originally named Gears, then renamed to Cogs, and as for their purpose, they are currently unknown. My assumption is that they were supposed to originally act as the earliest form of redstone, potentially even working up vertical walls and sides to power various different objects in game. They were finally removed during InfDev back in June of 2010, almost a decade back. Now, number 34 here are the fire item and chain armor recipes. 1.8 snapshots and earlier, fire could exist as an actual item. But it wasn't for placing down. Believe it or not, it was used for making armor. Check this out. Chainmail chestplate. This was the original way and the only way at one point to get chainmail armor in game. You literally had to craft it with a glitched fire item, often needing to use inventory hacks to get the item to begin with. Number 35, mobs running from exploding creepers. Ooh, don't mind if I do go into create mode for this one. Back in Minecraft 1.8, mobs would actually run away from any nearby creepers that were about to explode in an attempt to dodge the explosion. This ended up causing serious performance issues for a lot of players, and the feature ended up getting removed. Not in half because the pigs would start to fly. I think it's a really cool feature. I wish it came back. We move on to this really ominous building. This is odd. Okay, there's nothing in here. Oh, whoa. Number 36, Winter Mode. Winter Mode was a randomly occurring map type. It was also the first biome to appear, you could say. But the downside is that it would always snow. It made everything snowy, and it would never, ever stop. Not only that, but because of the snow, there'd be way less mobs that were spawning in all over the place. So if you got one of these worlds and you didn't like the snow, well, you better start making a new world. Aye, who did that? Number 37, the in-dev house. This house that you see right here would spawn in when the player first joined the world. They'd usually get a bunch of items on them as well, but this was the original humble abode. Not bad, I like it. Number 38, though, I love. Tears of Joy for Crying Obsidian. It was originally an abandoned project that was going to be implemented to act as a spawn change block, but they ended up using beds instead. We've got some Crying Obsidian right here, and hey, why don't we go ahead and place one of these things down? Right there, perfect. Yes, and then I'll kill myself, as you can see. I spawn right by the Crying Obsidian. And if I were to place Crying Obsidian somewhere else, stand on top of that one, and then kill myself, you'd see that we spawn right back there. 39, Pigmen. Instead of villagers, Pigmen were supposed to be the original members of the villages. What's up, cutie pie? Aye, geez. Okay, well, you don't like me that much. I thought you were supposed to be friendly. Better than bad trades, I suppose, huh? They ended up getting replaced by villagers. I couldn't tell you why, and I'm kind of glad, because at least villagers are hilarious looking. I just feel bad for killing that. All right, my friends, the last one, number 40, furniture. Within this fantastic house, we've got what? Huh? Oh, rip off! Where's the furniture? Huh? Furniture was at some point planned for the game. Table and chair sprites were found in the game code, and as you can see here, we've got a nice demo of a data pack from Chuck. Look at this loveliness. Oh, it's got a tablecloth and everything, and I've got a nice little throne here for me to rest my tired legs on. There's even fun recipes involved for all these different ones if you wanted to get your hands on this data pack. But, my friends, that was all 40. Which of these updates did you guys not know about? Comment below, and like I said, click the eye in the corner to see 25 more updates that were supposed to be in-game. And we'll see you later.